Hey, do you want to get a एंड टेक्नोलॉजी इंडिपेंडेंस इन अमृत काल। जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं, इसी को हमारी सभ्यता और
status and the gap analysis. And significant
Decarbonization means adoption of means and systems that sustainably reduces the emission of carbon dioxide, the biggest cause of planet. The Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council, TIFAC, the technology think tank in collaboration with the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, is working towards assessment of technology needs for decarbonization of Indian industries.
India is committed to all the global challenges on climate change. Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has given a clear mandate to all the researchers, the manufacturing sector and all the stakeholders to make sure that the new technologies we develop fit into the climate change parameters as defined. TIFAC's initiative in making the decarbonization policy is very apt as on today. In the recent past, there has been a great shift in energy generation, including sustainable solutions, alternate sources of energy, non-conventional energy, avoiding the fossil fuels, and green hydrogen.
TIFAC, an autonomous institution of Department of Science and Technology, works as a think tank for Government of India on various technological issues. TIFAC understanding its responsibility towards nation and responding to the clarion call of Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, wherein he has given a call for decarbonization of Indian industries with an objective of reduction in greenhouse gases and reduction in CO2 emissions in these industry clusters. TIFAC has conducted a series of interactive workshops in various industry clusters to include thermal power generation cluster at Singrauli, steel plants, cement industries and MSME clusters, wherein we just try to understand the technological requirements. The technological need assessment has been done and a technological roadmap for decarbonization has been identified, and the report is being generated and submitted to Government of India for its implementation.
India's climate change target is very stringent, and to address that, all sectors, industry, transport, energy sector, are working very hard to decarbonize their processes. TIFAC, being a technology think tank, future thinker, is working to prepare a technology roadmap in terms of how to decarbonize their plants, to identify the technologies in terms of energy generation, in terms of energy efficiency of their plant. Whatever has come out so far, renewable energy is coming out heavily for each industry, more specifically a green hydrogen route. In terms of end users, energy efficiency, in every state, other technology services are being planned.
As technology think tank, the noble initiative of TIFAC aimed at preparation of roadmap for creating decarbonizing pathways for many important sectors is praiseworthy. The collaborative efforts by scientists, industries, policymakers, civil society bodies would certainly fulfill the commitments made by the Honorable Prime Minister.
Now we are going to showcase another film on Srijan program. TIFAC SIDBI Technology Innovation Program SIDBI is a joint program of TIFAC and SIDBI towards catalyzing scaling up of technology innovation through industries, particularly MSMEs and startups.
The collaborative program of TIFAC and SIDBI launched on November 1st, 2010, aimed at facilitating development, demonstration and commercialization of technology innovation projects.
We formulated this scheme together in 2010, Srijan, Srijan is basically creation. The idea was that TIFAC would support the technology part in terms of assessment, and SETB would bring its progress to do the assessment on financial part.
Srijan is a program which is wherein TIFAC is working in collaboration with SIDBI, and TIFAC is funding up to rupees 2 crore rupees as a soft loan to innovative startups. This is an attempt towards making India and towards strengthening our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
The Khirkiya Ghat at Varanasi recently got its first and world's first floating CNG filling station for eco-friendly boats. It was built by AIPL company that was supported under Srijan scheme.
आपने अपनी खुद की कंपनी एक्वाफ्रंट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के जरिए बनारस के खिड़किया घाट पर दुनिया का जो पहला फ्लोटिंग सीएनजी फिलिंग स्टेशन विकसित किया है वो बेहतरीन है।
Mukunda Foods is a food automation company which has an end-to-end integration with in-house R&D, manufacturing facility and global service network. They are the pioneers and end-to-end solution provider in kitchen robotics space.
We wanted to focus on dosa because dosa is one among the top 5 most sold items in the country and the most difficult item to make. It's an art. In 2012, we made a small prototype and the machine came out very nice.
Jajal Medical. They provide 3D printed prototypes to surgeons based on MRIs to help them in their procedures.
We provided a 3D printed cutting guides that were made just for that patient. Implants are standard, right? And then the patients are kind of restructured to fit the implant, right? And we believe that it should be the other way. The implants needs to be designed for that patient.
So this program is basically to facilitate the scaling up of technology innovations which are developed indigenously, and we are facilitating industries, particularly MSMEs and startups, to take up this technology to the commercial scale.
Omni PRX mission is to be the world's leading manufacturer of single-use bioreactors for the biopharmaceutical industry.
The technologies which are there for the vaccine manufacturing, mostly it is scale limited. We try to solve this problem with this innovation, like the invention what we have. So now people can manufacture the vaccines at a much larger scale, I think 10 times higher scale.
Promethean Energy builds unique waste heat recovery solutions for industrial and commercial applications.
So we started this company 7 years ago. With a focus on helping factories reduce their fuel consumption. Using a mix of technologies like heat recovery systems and heat pumps, we have helped over 50 companies, large companies, and over 150 factories significantly move on the path towards decarbonization and fuel savings.
Solar panels generate green power. Soiling is the biggest challenge which can reduce efficiency by up to 40%. Water wastage for cleaning is not right. Therefore, waterless cleaning solution.
We're the first Indian company with the indigenous technology. We're the third indigenous design in the world. We've got patents for our design in India and we applied for patents in different parts of the world.
Graphil from Technovital connects innovations, experience, commitment to offer low-cost, simple solutions to global customers.
The focus of the company is, can we provide a very effortless and affordable water purification solution? We have come up with a industrial ultrafiltration membrane which is branded as Graphil. So Tata Swachh is a product which is using our membranes for their water purification system.
Aeron offers an entire range of inertial measurement units for land, sea and airborne.
Our objective of starting out was to make India self-reliant in these technologies. We were funded through the Srijan program in 2012 13, 14. This really helped us in establishing our infrastructure that helps us in calibration and testing of our equipment.
Oil Power Hydraulics Private Limited's developed product is claimed to be the first valve in this range in Indian market.
There are the product named by directional control valve, which is very limited, and only few manufacturers are in the world who are dominating the market. And the demand in India is increasing day by day, like automation and new technology has introduced in the market.
GovPro Drilling Fluids has been manufacturing drilling fluid chemicals since 1983.
In early 2000s, we had developed some products which were in the liquid state like this. But in their extreme winters, it used to freeze. This liquid we converted into a free-flowing powder form. And we named this polvo, which is Spanish for powder. This was innovative out-of-the-box thinking which we've done for the first time in the industry in the world.
Sabha Geo-Navigation Technologies is the only company in India with the drone autopilots.
Under the TIFAC City Region scheme, we got this at the right time in 2015, thanks to which we've been able to commercialize this product.
Jyoti Silo Rubber is primarily involved finding the solutions and innovate against the wear and abrasion problems in processing plants.
Conveyor idlers gets failed very faster. So in Tata Steel in 2003 and 4, the idlers, conveyor idlers were getting frequent failure was taking place, and because of that, lot many of production losses were there. So हम लोगों ने उनके ही आइडल लेके उसके कोटिंग प्रोसेस को अपने लेवल पे छोटे लेवल पे डेवलप किया, जहाँ 3 महीने से 18 महीने का लग किया. So it was more than 7-8 times more life enhancement was there without changing any prior art.
Brazil is a leading company addressing the problem of rice husk ash utilization.
Every year, more than 100 million tons of rice husk is being used across the globe. But when we use this rice husk as a source of energy, the process generates rice husk ash. Now, rice husk ash is a total waste. It doesn't have any commercial application. We have developed a technology, a chemical process to utilize this rice husk ash and produce advanced chemicals from it. And the chemicals which we are producing from rice husk ash are precipitated silica and activated carbon.
Aqua Agri has developed new technologies to cultivate and harvest natural seed plants, the seaweeds.
We are a company involved in the promotion of seaweed cultivation. We work closely with the coastal communities, encourage them to provide them.
Have either reached pre-commercialization stage or have tested the market and are ready for scale-up through TIFAC SIDBI 3-Jan program.
We are quite happy that this relationship has led to more than 35 projects being supported till now. And there has been negligible NPA and a basket of new innovative technologies have got validated.
TIFAC would be happy to take on more such projects which is towards innovation support, development of technologies, piloting of technologies and commercialization of these technologies as an innovative product to envision Make in India.
This program has successfully gone a long way in recognizing and encouraging innovative MSMEs to actualize their out-of-the-box thinking.
What started as a small sapling today has grown into a big tree. Now we have more than 3,500 machines in 27 countries.
The Season program really helped us invest into those equipments which helped us really where we are today.
We have a couple of installations in the US and European region, and we are also planning to export more and more in coming days.
Region program really helped us, gave us that cushion of money to try, innovate and develop products, and we could afford the freedom of failure.
We are one of the lightest and the fastest machine in the world. What it means is that you need to deploy less number of machines, cleaning is fast, so the return on your investment is much faster than any of the equivalent machines that are available globally.
At present, through our different products, we are now serving around 5 million people in India, that is 50 lakhs people in India are drinking water which is coming out of our system.
We are India's only private company with indigenous national energy system which is lying on 5
It is like a Sanjeevani for us while we are in very initial stage.
TIFAC has a great technical backing. They helped us through the patenting process, which was the first for us. And now we have our patents in India, Russia, as well as USA for this technology.
We have distributors in more than 12 countries as of today. And we are adding more plants in India as well as outside India to reduce the carbon emission and reduce the rice husk ash problem.
For anybody starting out on new journey or new technologies, they can be a great institution. Whether you get selected or not, there is a lot of insight, because that means you need to do a lot more work.
Let's give a big hand for the films prepared and the work done by TIFAC scientists. So now moving on to the next portion of the program. It's now my privilege to invite Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar to deliver his lecture on Industry 4.0. Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar is President Aries Communications India. He is leading the Aries business in the Indian subcontinent and is an established leader in starting strategic initiatives. Dr. Bhatnagar is also the recipient of multiple awards, Leadership Recognition Award, IoT CEO of the Year, Business Leader of the Year, and many more. Over to you, sir.
This is long for me. So good morning, everybody. Dr. V.K. Saraswat sir, T.G. Sitharamanji, and Professor Pradeep Srivastavaji. I can really see I have been associated with TIFAC for quite some time, and I can see the amount of contribution and the things which you have done has happened under your leadership, Pradeepji, has been significantly more than what we were able to see earlier. So thank you very much for providing such a great leadership to the institution. And with your team, I have been associated with many things. So I have been asked, I am a chairman for a future technology panel for IET, which is a 150-year-old institution. And I am also president for a company called Aries Communication. We are into digital technologies. And just a minute on that, we have around 15 million devices connected on our platform. So we give connectivity to machines. And we get 2.6 billion messages every day from those machines. And we do all AI, machine learning. And recently we acquired Ericsson's IoT business, which was around 95 million devices connected on our platform now. So we have total around 100 million devices connected on our platform. And with we are still calculating around 20 billion plus messages that comes every day on our platform. So that's the kind of scale we work. Majority of these devices are automotive, but there are multiple industry solutions which we provide and we work with them. Especially because it's India context and the topic of discussion today is more on the technology independence and Amrit Kaal. So I'll be trying to focus on the Industry 4.0 implementation in India and how it is happening. So around 4-5 years back, the Ministry of Industry, MSME especially, came out with something called Samarth Udyog Bharat 4.0, which was I'll say a framework created specially for the Indian industry. Okay. If I try to see the manufacturing industry in India, I can divide it into 3 main organizations. One, companies like Siemens or GE or like of those, who are based in, or headquarters are based in somewhere else, and they are trying to do manufacturing in India. They are utilizing the processes which are happening in their parent organization. So the Japanese organization will implement something which happened in Japan, and the Germans will do what is happening in Germany.
So they have their own inbuilt processes, and I can see with my experience in many of the industries, they are going for the state of the art and the kind of implementation which they have already done in their countries or their parent countries. But what was the need of those automations or the digitalization in their countries? The need for the labor cost was too high, and they were trying to see how they can have better, more productivity at a lesser cost and the quality. Okay. The reduction of cost of labor is not the need of our country. Okay. We are really looking for more jobs in the market. Okay. So the kind of processes which they had created, the framework which they had created was to see how can they reduce or have less people to do the job. Our target is definitely better quality and better scale, but not how can we keep on reducing the jobs. Okay. There are second set of organizations in India, which are the large organizations like Tatas and Mahindras and even Maruti. And if you go and start searching in these organizations, they will have one plant which they have digitalized, which will be state of the art, which will be showcasing to everybody, but they are not implementing it across the organization. But the majority of our organizations are the MSMEs, who, to be honest, this kind of scale they are in, majority of them even don't know what is Samarth Bharat or what is Industry 4.0. And if you start asking them, what is your roadmap for digitalization? They'll say, can I put Tally? Okay? So, we might be smiling or we might smile on these, but the reality is this. And the people sitting in Coimbatore or in Northeast or in Rajasthan, if you give them a keyword like digitalization and then the Industry 4.0, they will be scratching their head and they might not be able to understand how they should go the roadmap. Okay? So as a leader for future technologies and trying to have things to do, and with the limited time which I have, I'll try to tell you what we are trying to do and what we are doing. And once I had an opportunity to talk to Dr. Saraswat, and we were trying to see how we can do Atmanirbhar, and how can we have Indian technologies, how can we create something which is Indian IP, so that we are not paying the license fees to the world, and we are trying to do something for ourselves. So with the kind of organization which I am sharing with the volunteers led, we said the manufacturing, especially the manufacturing, is the 4 M's: the man, material, machines, and methods. And what all can we do to create a framework to see how the man, the human skills can be improved, and see how the skills can be changed, and what kind of platforms are available, Indianized Indian platforms, which can be in multiple Indian languages. Okay. And we created those skill development things so that the people on the ground can learn about the new technologies, the new methods, and they can be trained in that. Then the methods, we are trying to create methods of ourselves, the small scale industry especially, where they are not too, if you think of a larger organization, they'll go to the big fours and ask them a consulting paper and say how can I go with this roadmap. But those people, they might not have access to those large organizations to get these consultancy. But we have been able to create and support these smaller, medium MSMEs and create those organizations to see how can we help them in the methods that should change. And some of the volunteers in our organizations are from the experiences from Tata's as well as from Siemens and GE's and all those big Philips and all those organizations who are able to tell them that what kind of new skills and what kind of new methods you can work on. I'll give you an example on the machines. Many of the large machine organizations will have a 100-year-old machine which is still working, whether it's a cement plant or a paper mill. Okay. And when you go and tell them that, this is a new digitalization you should do and these are the kind of data you should generate, they'll say the amount of money I'll put on the capex is too much for me to return on the investment. Okay. So, sir, we worked within a startup and we said, how can I create and get some digital data from an analog old machine? I will not be able to make it 100% digitalized organization, but can I use the existing assets? And our teams started working with those paper mills and the cement plants and tried to create small devices that can be put onto that machine and try to extract some data out of it so that we can remotely monitor those machines. And in some way, we can give some level of commands with very less change on that machine and a very small cost. How can you put those machines into some level of data digitalization? So we are trying to do those kind of innovations and bringing what our country needs. But because if a 100-year-old cement plant, you need to change every machine, the amount of CapEx required is too high, and the industry works on the return on investment. And we have to see how can I provide a solution which is cost effective and we can work on it. Then the last one is the material, and this whole world is talking about the supply chain, and we can do a lot of digitalization into it, and we are also working to support, these kind of, some kind of material level changes, how you can track it, how can you see it, and how can you, ensure that the supply chain doesn't get hampered. So there are a lot of things which we can do, but with this time, I like to just say that we created a platform along with the CII, and we are trying to work with them on seeing, it's a multilingual. So if a person can write an email or speak in Tamil and say, this is my problem, and some of the experts can sit in the background and talk to them in the same language, okay, and tell them, this is what the route, what is the path you can take to get the digitalization done. We also tried to support, there was a number of schemes the government of India came out, especially on giving loans to start some small organizations. Okay, so there were Mudra loan and many other loans. One of the districts had given loan to around 12,000, and I'm using 12,000 small and medium-sized organizations to start working. After a year, what they realized that more than 50% of the companies never started. Okay, so the money is gone, and out of the rest 50, around 30-40% were gone, and there were very few left which are on the verge of, around 10% grew, 10% on the verge of being collapsing, and the rest either ran away or collapsed. So they wanted us to help them. There's 10% who are on the verge of getting collapsed, and how the expert panels can work with them and see the money that was invested by giving loan to those companies, and they can come out with some productive thing. So the group of those volunteers worked with those companies and tried to see how we can provide some level of guidance and support to them so that this company doesn't collapse and they start working. So we are doing some level of our support in these, and thank you very much for providing me this opportunity. It was such a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for enlightenment on the Industry 4.0. I now request Professor Pradeep Srivastava to please give a memento to sir. Let's give a big hand. It's my privilege now to invite Professor T.G. Sitaram to deliver the TIFAC Day lecture. Professor T.G. Sitaram is presently Chairman, All India Council of Technical Education, AICTE, Government of India. Prior to this, he was Director at the Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati. And presently also, he is the Chairman of Board of Governors at CIT Kokrajhar and Chairman Board of Management of NIRIST, Nirjuli, Arunachal Pradesh. Please, sir.
Namaskar. Very good morning to all. Dr. Saraswat, Honorable Member of Science and Technology, Niti Aayog, and also former Chairman TIFAC. Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar, Professor Pradeep Srivastava, Executive Director TIFAC, and all the distinguished guests who assembled in the hall. I can't read from here. distinguished members of the TIFAC, ladies and gentlemen. It's great to be here on the 36th TIFAC Foundation Day, 2023. Let me wish TIFAC a happy birthday first, the 36th birthday. TIFAC has exceedingly done well in the technology foresighting, visioning, flagging, and strategy planning in many sectors. Yeah. And today, we can be proud of some of the technologies are Make in India. That's our vision of the Honorable Prime Minister. Now, I come from Indian Institute of Technology. Before I go to my talk, I'll just briefly highlight. These institutions, when they were there until up to 2000, there were only 6 of them, including the newest IIT Guwahati in the Northeast, the 6th one. They started as elite engineering colleges, but today they're truly a multidisciplinary schools in line with the National Education Policy 2020. Most of the IITs, today there are 23 of them. I always say these institutes of Indian Institutes of Technology we can be very proud of. They are India's institutes of Indian technologies. There are a lot of technologies are coming out of IITs, and we are very proud of them. IIT today is a brand. After saying that, I would like to say there are only 5% of the students getting into engineering education graduate from these IITs and all the elite engineering institutions in the country. With such a small, meager number, can we be the leader in 2047? If you look at, we have to transform technical education. It is through the colleges, large number of them. Almost 80% of the engineering graduates come from these institutions. Today we have close to about 15 lakhs graduates, engineering graduates are graduating every year. We need to bring transformation to that. I think this is only possible with a national policy, with all of us coming together. Whether it is TIFAC, whether it is All India Council for Technical Education, or even including IITs, NITs, all the higher learnings, institutes of higher learning. So I have titled today on this the TIFAC Day lecture as the transformation of technical education in the era of disruptive innovation. What do I mean by a disruptive innovation? So you have seen the communication and technologies have really changed the way we do our business. These technologies, it could be anything starting from even Uber is one of the services also could be. The disruptive innovation in digital and communication technologies has offered India a natural advantage to take the leadership in education sector. And I always say that COVID is also one other thing which has given us a lot of boost to this use of technologies. If you look at the education per se, there is a robust demand with 500 million young population between 5 to 24 years in India, which are aspiring to be, initially, when I was in IIT, I used to say many of them wanted to be an IIT graduate. But we only hardly take about 15,000 students in the entire nation. So, as we all know, in India, parents are aspiring their kids to get into IIT from the age of 6. It is not really an exaggeration at all. There are so many coaching classes and so many things, they are under tremendous stress. But however, if you look at the other end of it, India has a competitive advantage having higher education, mostly taught in English so far. And there is a large number which are available through our engineering colleges, which are started sometime in 1980s, 83s. But considering today's scenario, we have a robust demand, and also we have a very strong policy and political support as never before, with proactive initiatives of Ministry of Education and also University Grant Commission and many other institutions, in addition to All India Council for Technical Education. Furthermore, there are programs, but this is an advantage actually for India also to the All India Council for Technical Education, because we at the council able to talk to large number of institutions of this kind, which produces large number of engineers across the country. There are programs like RUSA, Skill India, Imprint, NPIU, and many more. I've just put them at the bottom there, which will enhance the quality in higher education across the board, not just at premier institutions in the country. As already I've given you a preamble, these premier institutions only cater to about 5% of the students getting into higher education. See, the other, the Government of India's programs, such as Digital India, Make in India, Startup India, and several other programs, have actually added the fuel to this desire of India becoming the global engineer. With such an ecosystem in place, today, as per the World Bank report, Indian higher education system is the third largest in the world, next to United States and China. That means there is a great potential. We need to only make them, now we have numbers, we need to have quality. Many countries worldwide are looking for solutions, capabilities, guidance to embrace disruptive innovation. And here, I think I see a great opportunity for Indian engineering fraternity, and particularly All India Council for Technical Education has a greater role to play to trigger such innovation and guide the world uniquely. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Even in engineering, we need to follow that. Institutions which are come under the All India Council for Technical Education, a very, very large number, have a tremendous role to play as a partner of new knowledge economy to inspire, to create, and to move our society forward. This is one of the reasons, I moved out of IIT Guwahati, even though I had still 1.5 years more to serve there as a director. I thought we could bring some change in the national scene, because this is the right up time when everybody is looking at such a growth. In addition to that, National Education Policy 2020, which has brought a really a fantastic document, and implementation of this is right now going on. That actually throws a lot of challenge for the, not only just for All India Council for Technical Education, all the agencies who looks after higher education and school education as well. But I consider this as an opportunity to change things. And here I would like to say, you see, the way we do in higher education, like evaluation, testing, and all that, has to change. Because most of those report writing and mundane data analytics, all ChatGPT will do it for you today. It will throw whatever report you want in 5 minutes out. So that means, with the way we communicate to our young people, young engineers in the classrooms have to change. So that means there is a greater demand of teachers' education, because the role has completely changed. And we were mesmerized when our teachers used to write from left side of the board to the right side of the board, the equations of elasticity and continuum. Oh, how did he remember? But today, the students are not enthused by that, let me tell you, honestly. They are not at all really amused by that. They throw that out before you even start writing on their phones and tell you this is enough, I am going out. So, in such a scenario, what is that we can do? So, we need to put AICTE as a partner of knowledge economy to inspire, create, and move the society forward. What do we need to do? And just tell you the national education policy's importance is here. You can very clearly see that rise of big data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and many unskilled jobs worldwide may be taken over by the machines. Whatever is based on data, whatever are the past experience, all will be taken up by the jobs will change today. So the role of translators will vanish actually. So similarly, that's only one example. Hundreds and thousands of job profiles will change. And if we don't change ourselves, I don't think we will be left behind. We will never be the leaders again. While there is a need for skilled workforce, particularly involving mathematics, computer science, data science, in conjunction with multidisciplinary abilities across the sciences, social sciences, and humanities will be increasingly in greater demand. So this is where the focus of the national education policy, multidisciplinary abilities across the sciences. It is not just having departments and departments of multidisciplinary in an institution. See, if we say we have social science, we have science, we have engineering, but that doesn't really help us because those are all working in silos. What we need is a truly a multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, or even transdisciplinary approaches to move ahead in this area. The National Education Policy 20 emphasis on the development of creative potential of each individual. That's where the creativity is the foundational capacities of literacy and numeracy is no more that much of a challenge for us. But what is important is critical thinking and problem solving is the one which is going to really drive our engineering education in the country. We are already strong with numbers in STEM. I think this is a golden opportunity for India to lead the whole world and supply the global engineers to the whole world, whether it is civil, mechanical, electrical, or any core engineering. But unfortunately, the numbers which we have seen in AICTE, core engineering seats, 50% of them are not taken, are still vacant, cutting across the institution. Even in IITs, I can vouch for you. All those core engineering people are not joining the core engineering jobs. They are getting into financial sector or IT sector. So none of them are entering into the core engineering. So how to revive this core engineering? That's the debate we are having internally now. In the last 1.5 months, that's what we are looking at. How to revive this core engineering, keeping the essence of emerging technologies. That's the great challenge for India to reckon with. And I think you need all your support, including the TIFAC, to really change that scenario of core engineering in the nation, because we can't live without core engineering. This is the challenge I have put to my colleagues in AICTE, and see how best we can do. We are actually rewriting our approval process handbook. First of all, I tell them, we need to simplify the process. So the approval process handbook was close to about 350 pages. I said, nobody will even open it today because of technology. They want to read everything on their phone. So there is no way they will read you your 350 pages. So we want to cut down to maybe about first level 70 pages, and next year it will be 10 pages. So the challenges, the key changes in the national education policy is what really I'm always excited about. These are, whether it is multidisciplinary universities and colleges, merit appointments and progression-based teaching and research, that's where, very, very important. I think we have a fantastic example of IITs and IISc in that. And then establishment of a national research foundation, the funding pattern also has to change, the way we fund faculty. Because research and innovation has to be part and parcel of not just IITs in the pretext of quality. We need to bring that quality to the engineering colleges, go down to every institution to focus on research and innovation. That's the change which I saw in the NEP. Not just they are asking the institutions to change, it is also schools and colleges where they introduce research and innovation concept. I will also tell you some of the efforts of AICTE in that sector of reaching out to the schools in the innovation sector. One higher education institution in or near every district. Oh, we have so many institutions, do we still need them? Yes, because we are 1.3 billion people. Our gross enrollment ratio is hardly 26%. If you look at the developed nations, they're almost 90-95%. To reach that even 26% to 50%, we need more institutions of multidisciplinary in nature. Only thing is we are worried about quality, whether we will be able to create that institutions of that quality institutions is the challenge. I am very confident with the young people who are sitting, particularly the women force. We see a great change. There is a great hope for a nation like India. Revamp the curriculum, teaching, assessment and student support. That has to happen because the way what we teach and what we really call it as a curriculum is changing every alternate year. That means institutions like AICTE should not prescribe the syllabus. It should come from within the institutions, like what we do in IISc or IITs. A teacher has to decide the curriculum. It is not what you teach. It is what's the learning abilities of the students and what do they learn and what do they take out of the classroom. That's very most important. Governance is another very, very important aspect. Again, IITs have shown the way. We have a model. We don't need to emulate anybody in the world. We can emulate our own institution within our nation. Policies are also within our nation. There are fantastic examples which are running very well. Multidisciplinary UG education is very, very important, ladies and gentlemen. Undergraduate education has to be multidisciplinary. We don't need to teach mundane, starting from physics, chemistry again. I think, people will pick it up. They have learned up to 12th class or of rote learning. So they are mugged up everything, whether you like it or not. They spewed out much before even what our teachers can teach them in engineering of the basics, maths, physics, chemistry. Because such a rigorous training because of thanks to all the JEE and now the CUET and all the examinations. We need to rethink on our examination pattern. Specifically, do we really need to do the examination? We need to come with some evaluation methods, newer ones. Faculty, definitely we need to really train these faculty to be the facilitators, not as just a teacher. So to do that, definitely we need to create a newer environment and institutional autonomy. That means because whenever we give some challenges, it should also come with some freedom to them and also responsibility. Finally, a single regulator for higher education, I think, will solve the problem because we are not yet together. We have medical council, we have law council. So, sir is here, so I thought I'll just put a word to him saying that we need to come together. All the law, bar council, or medical council, architecture council, pharma council have to come together. Maybe, hopefully, I hope that higher education council in India encompasses everyone together as a team and make it much more flexible and simpler structure so that we can achieve higher goals. So we don't need to really monitor so much. I know there are a lot of issues of the institutions which are misusing, but there must be, the rules have to be lighter but tighter. By 2040, if you all do this, all higher education institutions will become a multidisciplinary institutions. I think we have a great role to be a Vishwaguru. So it's almost like now another 17 years, long way to go. So through this, what we are trying to achieve is the quality universities, institutional restructuring is required, multidisciplinary education, optimal learning environment and support, motivated and energized, capable faculty, equity and inclusion in higher education, catalyzing quality academic research, and the funding. So I also looked at the strength. I will not go through all these, I'll just quickly summarize. Many of you know that. What is important is we need to reposition ourselves to the advantages and envision its role rather than just looking at negative aspects of it. There are many negative things which we have to overcome. But however, there is a greater opportunity because of the national education policy. And so there is a lot of threats also. Please understand that that's where the role of TIFAC is very key aspect, where very limited, impactful and applied research is happening in the nation. Applied research. That's where, we need to bring the technology advantages to take it to technology transfers and all that. When you show those advantages, people will go into the applied research areas. There is a lot of attrition in the postgraduate education. Many people are thinking we don't need one because of the jobs created by the IT sector in 90s and 2000, 2010. Non-integration of law and medicine fields, I have already told, intense competition. India requires a very strong, sturdy, established education framework to help and cultivate learning and ensuring top-notch education to every individual. That's an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, because of the National Education Policy 2020. So we have some plans, just I will briefly summarize, to build capacities of the technical institutions, particularly on the accreditation and ranking. We have serious discussion in the ministry now, how to really do the accreditation and what are the agencies, whether these NAAC and NB are enough. Because the kind of numbers what we have and numbers to grow, these may not be able to handle that. And also how simplify we should process the accreditation as well. Implementation of Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan through higher education institutions. I think there is a great potential there to take the lot of technologies through the institutions. During pandemic, I looked at IIT Guwahati. There are a large number of innovations happened, and we were transferred to also technologies. See, in 1 year, we have transferred about 25 technologies from one IIT Guwahati to the industry. 25 technologies were transferred. Incorporation of PM Gati Shakti is another one area where we can look at it. Similarly, on semiconductor initiative of the Government of India. Public and private partnership in skilling and employment. This is where I was really excited about AICTE's NEET portal. I will highlight that also briefly. Framework for hybrid learning. I think COVID has taught us. There is no way of looking back of technology interventions in learning. Overcoming regional language barriers. This is one area where I think I should compliment the previous All India Council for Technical Education leadership, because we started now teaching engineering in local languages. So some might question, is it ever possible? It is possible, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to do this more and more, because innovation will happen from people who are in nook and corner of the country. And then, there is no way to stop that. So they are uncomfortable with language. There are a lot of language barriers in the country. So the beautiful is technical book writing by All India Council for Technical Education is a very, very interesting proposition. Some of you, if you have not seen it, please see that and try to contribute. And we invite every one of you. You don't need to be a professor to write it. And our books are written by IIT professors, NIT professors, industrialists, and even some voluntary organizations also have written these textbooks. But we have a format, we have a curriculum, and we have also technology integrated into the books with many of the features. Some of the transformative initiative at All India Council for Technical Education is whether it is revision of curriculum, teachers training, faculty development program, mandatory induction program for holistic development. Human values are also been lost. So mandatory 3 weeks induction program has been done in all the engineering colleges. It's a fantastic program. It is developed by an IIT, a professor. Not just we have gone into some guru and taken that. It is a professor of chemical engineering from IIT, Kanpur, who has developed, and it is a fantastic program. If some of you have not come across, please popularize that. And examination reforms. I was just talking to that earlier TIFAC employee, my colleague, that we need to change the way examination is done. It is not just the use of technology there. Industry readiness, and then the innovative programs, what is Indian Knowledge System, Ministry's Innovation Cell, and National Education Assisted Technologies is the NEET program is the another one. So we have many of those things. One of them is One Nation, One Data, where repetitive data and also transparency and quality of data of the institutions is one we are going to launch within a month's time. It's going to be a One Nation, One Data, very similar to One Nation, One Subscription for all the journals, which is a fantastic idea again. which is going to happen soon. So National Education Technology 3.0 is almost ready. We want to get into the 4.0 wherein we don't need to even wait to evaluate them. Every 2 months we'll roll it out, the new technologies which are coming, because technologies are also becoming obsolete almost a monthly basis. And PARAK is the evaluation model. That's where I'm seeing some hope of the PARAK evaluation tool of AICTE. If some of you have not seen that, we will show you that. We have 7 or 9 boards through which regularly we update our curriculum. That's where the model curriculum is not done by AICTE officers. It is done by professors who are very well accomplished and into that. So we have these boards. Some of those, AICTE language translation tool is also with deep learning, open APIs, which is a fantastic tool. Some of you have not seen it, please use it. Now we are ready to give it free to everyone. And then internship portal is fantastic actually. I will just show you some numbers. And then ICASE portal, Indian Knowledge System portal, and One Nation, One Data. These are all digital transformation of the thing. And then Kaushal Augmentation and Restructuring Mission Karma program is also excellent. And free digital content to the students during COVID, what is delivered, can be expanded to the entire nation. And then, we need to attract a lot of foreign students. That's where our ranking is suffering. That's a big, big challenge for India. Because we actually, if you are able to convince the ranking agencies to take the diversity instead of foreign student, we score much higher. Because I was just counting during COVID, in IIT Guwahati, where are our students coming from? When I looked at it, 600 districts of 780 odd districts, we have students in IIT Guwahati, which is a remote corner. So you can see how it will be if you map IIT Delhi students or IIT Bombay students. They are double our size. We have about 8,000 students at IIT Guwahati. So that's an amazing thing. We have fantastic diversity within ourselves. Whether it is culture, whether it is food, or the way we look, all is different. But unfortunately, these ranking agencies doesn't look at that diversity. They look at diversity of nations. Because nations are really a boundary which is created by our own imagination. And definitely we are looking at our process to making simpler. I will not get into many of these details. I will leave the presentation with this. You can take a look at it. But what I would like to say is there is a greater opportunity for inclusion, equity and inclusion. There are fantastic programs we are trying to do for women to get into education. Whether it is Pragati, scholarship for promoting girls for higher education, or PMSSS, Prime Minister's Special Scholarship Scheme for Jammu and Kashmir students. I had an interaction first time last month in Chandigarh. I was really mesmerized. These students are really, really bright, very bold also. And many of them, 50% of them are girls. I think that's where the space is there and hope is there for India. Research and innovation. This is one thing, we need to really focus on every institution. And there, AICTE's Idea Labs are fantastic. Dr. Saxena took me forcibly to Bangalore to show me the Vishweshwaraya Technological Universities where AICTE has established a Idea Lab. There are 3D printers, chip making, everything is real hands-on. The teachers who came there didn't want to leave the campus also. They wanted to learn. This is the first-hand experience. And such kind of hands-on experience is required because there is no more, you write a report, all that ChatGPT will write it. And I also heard from someone as a joke, there is a tool, app now, to find out whether it is plagiarized by the ChatGPT. So that's a risk again, you face. And our Kapila program also, an IP literacy and awareness, we have started offering a program. Please look at AICTE's Swayam platform, where we have introduced now a 4-credit IP program for anybody. That means you don't need to have a program, background. You will get a certification from AICTE if you complete and pass the test. And you can now become an entrepreneur yourself, writing IPs for others. So similarly, Innovation Council, this is one story I wanted to say and then close my talk. We have across the nation close to about 7,000 institute innovation councils. 7,000, which is mind-boggling, which has been established in last 2-3 years, that too during pandemic. More than 72,000 students, 50,000 faculty members, 9,000 experts from ecosystem enablers across 28 states and 6 union territories. We have this ecosystem established. Institution innovation councils ensure multidisciplinary interaction and partnership approach for boosting IP generation, enhance innovation and startup output from academic institutions. During the year 21-22, a total of close to 64,000 innovation and entrepreneurial activities have happened across these IICs. This is a number, I think, is mind-boggling. This is the kind of change we need to bring in if you really want to be the leader or a Vishwaguru in 2047. I can go on. These are the numbers, how it is growing. You can see exponentially it is growing. And internationalization also we are trying, but that's where, our higher education sector suffers, both in terms of teaching and faculty. So that's where we need to do more and more. Hopefully we will be able to do that. As I told you, this AICT Universal Human Values Faculty Development Programs toward promotion of Indianness is a very key initiative of AICT. It has really changed both teachers and faculty. It's a completely voluntary, ladies and gentlemen. They don't take even honorarium there. Okay? It's a completely voluntary and imbibe Indianness, Indian values, including yoga and meditation classes, okay, to the students. So the faculty development program, we have basic, advanced and academic leadership program. Happened continuously, and I was not even aware before joining All India Council for Technical Education. They've done a big clap for them, because this is where, they brought the change. So these are some of the year-wise programs. You can see 2018-19 we started with 5. During this pandemic year, its growth was little, but 21-22 we have 1,544 completed FDPs. Many of them are online. Now we are moving into the physical ones. And then faculty numbers trained, you can see we are talking about 25,000 faculty trained. And the resource persons are not just all IIT and IISc professors. They are all from international also. International academia, resource person from prestigious multinational industries, 600 plus. Industry-led FDPs like Tech Saksham, SAP and Microsoft are jointly with AICT offering this program. ARM India, ST Microelectronic, Metaverse, Cisco, Wipro, Infosys, Adobe. Approximately 10,000 experts from esteemed institutions like IITs, IIMs, IITs, and NITs are also part of this program. There are many scholarship schemes. I will not go in detail, but these are really fantastic to bring the inclusivity which AICT is doing it. And I was really astonished to see AICT is also funding medical students, dental students, where technology course is no relevance for us, but because maybe they have gone to them looking at the way they are doing the activities, So implementation I'll skip because of time. This is one portal which I would like to emphasize. This is mind-boggling. 1.24 crore students have registered. This internship portal of AICT. And total number of internship posted is about 17 lakhs. This number has to go to crores. And industries registered so far is 50,000. Tie-ups with Urban Development Ministry, National Highway Authority, Social Justice Ministry, NASCOM, and we are able to convince, AICT able to convince all these government agencies that we should have our young people with them to do some work with them. So this is another program where in the NEET, that is National Education Alliance for Technologies, we are already into 3.0 version. That's what is 3.4, where we'll list of higher education courses, school education courses, vocational courses, skilling and upskilling courses, okay, and Indian traditional cultural knowledge system courses. All of them are on this platform. It's evaluated and curated. That means you are not going into a trap. You will be certified courses by the AICT. So you can just directly getting in, some of them paid, some of them free. And during the pandemic, this is the portal which really reached out to large number of students in technology. Path Ahead And if I am able to take this each step to a bigger scale, that itself is a big thing. So I'll not go into the details of this. Thank you very much. Any questions there I'll take. Thank you. Namaskar. And I thank TIFAC for giving me this opportunity, to inviting me to give this technology day lecture, because if you really want to make really big leap in technologies, I think your technology education has to change. And we need to have more numbers for the nation, for the whole world. With these few words, I thank all of you for patiently listening to me. Thank you very much. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind. Namaskar.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an inspiring and informative lecture and setting the roadmap for future research. Now it's the time for unveiling of new initiatives of TIFAC by our chief guest, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Honorable Member, SNT Niti Aayog, and former Chairman, TIFAC Governing Council. Yeah, the first release is Technology Vision 2047. Yes, talk to me. As you all know, TIFAC has already given to the nation Technology Vision 2020 and TV 2035. Now, on the clarion call of Honorable Prime Minister, India to be a developed nation by 2047, TIFAC has started an initiative to draft Technology Vision 2047 through pan-India interaction with different groups and experts. So I request, sir, to please click. Let's give a big hand. This is one of the biggest initiatives being taken by TIFAC. So now I request our ED, sir, to please say a few words about this initiative.
TIFAC has been entrusted with a task for drafting and designing the Technology Vision 2047, and I'm pleased to announce that the activity has already started under the chairmanship of none other than Dr. V.K. Saraswat, who is the Member Science and Technology Niti Aayog, the chief guest for today's program, and he's already conducted a first meeting a couple of fortnight back, wherein we had invited all the scientific ministries to discuss the road ahead, the methodology to be followed for drafting Technology Vision 2047 for India's vision in technologies for this Amrit Kaal. I'm sure the guidance and the support being provided by the Honorable Member Science and Technology will definitely enable TIFAC to come up with a very focused Technology Vision 2047, which can really change the India's facet towards developing India into a new developed nation by 2047 in the Amrit Kaal. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now it's the time for the second initiative. आज स्टार्टअप्स को विकास के इंजन की संज्ञा दी गई है, जो कहीं से भी गलत नहीं दिखाई देती। वैश्विक उन्नतीकरण हो, रोजगार के नए आयाम हो, बढ़ती हुई आर्थिक व्यवस्था हो, तकनीकी स्टार्टअप का योगदान लगातार ऊंचाइयों को छू रहा है। Let's be a part of this struggling journey. Let's be a part of this team. Team is technology assessment and mentoring program for startups being launched by TIFAC. So, sir, Saraswat sir, you are requested to please click. So, sir is inaugurating. Let's give a big hand.
The word team, in fact, is an acronym for Technology Assessment and Mentoring Program, which TIFAC has initiated for the first time. In this, we will try to identify at least 50 such startups who are working for Atmanirbhar Bharat, who are working on Make in India. We've got a product design and which have got a good active business plan. The further mandate is that we'll try to identify these startups and see what limitations they are having, be it with reference to technologies, with reference to business plan, be it with reference to the market or the finance. And in this endeavor, we are joined by organizations like SIDBI, which is there to support these startups for their financial requirements. Technology Development Board, TDB, DST is also joining hands in this initiative. And we intend to launch this initiative at one of the premier institutions of India at IIT BHU, wherein we have the showcasing of these startups. So I am sure the necessary handholding will be provided to these startups for their technology mentoring, assessment, and financial support. And we look forward to have more such startups who can work for Atmanirbhar Bharat.
Thank you, sir. The third release is the launch of Tech Exchange platform. This is an online portal for technology commercialization. I request Dr. Devapriya Datta, Scientist G, DST, Head C, to please come on the stage. And Yashwant, you may please just help. Sir, you may please click. Saraswat sir, you may please click. Let's give a big hand. TIFAC has already got patent for so many technologies, and otherwise also TIFAC is a think tank for technologies. Now it's the time for technology commercialization. So we have developed this platform for facilitating technology commercialization and exchange of technologies. Now the fourth release is basically announcement of the WISE internship in IPR. As you all know, TIFAC has been implementing the Women Scientist Scheme, WASC, popularly known as Kiran IPR, since 2002. And now the 13th batch, or we may call it the first batch of WISE internship in IPR. The name has now been changed from WASC to WISE internship in IPR. And some new features have also been added to this scheme. So I request Dr. Nisha Mandiratha Madam, who is Head Kiran Division and Head of Climate Change and Scientist G in Department of Science and Technology, to please come forward. And I request Sir to please inaugurate. So this is just an announcement, and the advertisement is going to be coming soon. Let's give a big hand. This scheme has been a very successful scheme and has also been awarded the Nari Shakti Puraskar by the President of India. Very well received scheme and one of the flagship schemes of Department of Science and Technology. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And the last release is release of the report on decarbonization roadmap. We all know that about Honorable Prime Minister's commitment to international community that India aims to reach net zero by 2070. And I now request Sir to please unveil this report. I also request Dr. Gautam Goswami, Scientist G, Head TB 2035 and TB 47, to please come on the stage and say a few words about the report. Let's give a big hand to the report. The report has been brought out at a very apt time. So, Dr. Goswami, please, you may share a few words about the report.
Good afternoon, Dr. Saraswat, Dr. Sitaram, and other dignitaries on the dais or off the dais. It's a good opportunity to introduce TIFAC's activity in terms of climate change. It started in 2015 when MOEF requested TIFAC to prepare a technology need report for India's INDC. That's the way TIFAC's climate change initiative started. Then Climate Change Division assigned some responsibility to prepare a global technology work group report. We delivered that. Then that prompted again Climate Change Division to talk about technology needs assessment again with the revised mandate what the Honorable Prime Minister has set for the country. In terms of net zero, you all are hearing these words, buzzwords, last 2 years. I mean, Honorable Prime Minister set a target for India to achieve net zero status by 2070. Why this terminology came in altogether? First, let me apprise you in 1 minute. You know, earlier in climate change conventions, all countries put their nationally determined contribution target. But when you club together, they are not able to fulfill the target of 1.5 degree temperature rise. In the Glasgow conference, the net zero word came in. So that will not happen unless we achieve net zero status. India target kept 2070. Many other nations target kept between 2045 to 2070. Being a technology think tank, is a responsibility for us to prepare a technology roadmap, how to achieve this target. TIFAC, after thorough interaction with different industries, especially hard-to-abate sectors, energy sectors, transport sectors, who are the main responsible for emissions, worked intensively with them to understand their methodology, to understand their processes, and came out with a very detailed report which talks about what are the technologies and policy are needed for India to achieve 2070, and I am hopeful that this will be implemented by many institutions altogether, and it is a joint hand between TIFAC and other ministries together. By the way, for the benefit of all our participants, what the net zero means? Should we stop development? No. Development should happen. Whatever the emission we did, whatever the GHG we emit, can we absorb through CCUS technology? So this document has captured extensively about CCUS technologies, what are the technology options. Most importantly, which is very important for India to adopt, how much money is required to gain to achieve this net zero. As of now, different models have been used to calculate that. As of now, around 20 trillion US$ India need to implement net zero. I don't want to divulge more. I want to create the interest of the readers for this document, and I'm sure one fine morning, our vision of Honorable Prime Minister will be successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Goswami. I now request our chief guest, Dr. V.K. Saraswat, Honorable Member, Science and Technology, Niti Aayog, and former Chairman, TIFAC Governing Council, to please give his address.
Namaskar, good afternoon. Professor Sitaraman, Chairman of AICTE, Shri Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar from Aris Communication, Professor Srivastav, my old colleague, ED TIFAC, distinguished invitees, Team TIFAC, ladies and gentlemen. At the onset, let me congratulate TIFAC for completing 36 glorious years, your foundation day. Let's all celebrate with clapping. I would like to also congratulate today the scientific community of the country for successful launch of SSLV D2. In fact, I got delayed because I was watching that in live and also interacting with the team at Sriharikota. And the launch took place just at about 10 o'clock, 9:30 or so. It was a stupendous launch because it gives us capability today for low cost access to space, plus capability to carry out launch on demand for strategic applications.
It will certainly bring a lot of commercial activity on the fore, and also startup companies which are coming up in this sector will benefit from that. I want to talk about the birth of TIFAC. TIFAC was conceived and set up in late 90s, if I am not wrong. And the forefathers, under the leadership of Dr. Kalam, and later on Dr. Chidambaram, Y.S. Rajan, and of course the other science secretaries who actually nurtured this, has given the shape what it is today. But in terms of the struggle which TIFAC has faced, which I encountered as chairman of the TIFAC Board of Governors, I give it I would say equivalence, or I would say it is something similar to the birth of Pandavas in Mahabharata. You know how the Pandavas were born. I won't elaborate on that. In spite of the fact that they were born for a purpose, the kind of struggles they had and they faced throughout their life till they went to Himalayas for their final journey, all of us know. Despite that kind of, I would say, the life which you have led for the last 36 years, I must say that TIFAC as an institution has done wonderful work. Starting with the Vision 22 document, which I read when I was not even director RCI. I think I had just become director RCI. Did some contributions also in its preparation because Dr. Kalam used to interact with us. And I don't know how many of you have read it. There was one diagram in that which says for India to bridge the technology gap between India and the developed countries, India has to spend for technology development, R&D and research, minimum 300 crores per year. The graph I still vividly remember, and I used to present it at many occasions. 300 crores per year was only for the areas which were identified in that particular project. We are spending more than that, but the actual amount which goes into the development of technologies is not 300 crores. The budget of science and technology may be 4,000, 5,000 crores, maybe BIREC, DBT, CSIR, all put together maybe about 20,000 crores. But about 75% of that goes into OPEX and the salaries and things like that. So net benefit that goes into the development of S&T infrastructure in the country, both in terms of facilities and capabilities, and the kind of ecosystem which is required for frontiers of research, I think still much to be desired, which is also visible from the fact that the science and technology budget in terms of GDP is only about 0.7% of our GDP. If you compare that with China, which is about 2.5%, America, almost similar, and so on. Obviously, countries have made tremendous contribution to S&T because of the major priorities with respect to investment and the strategies which they have followed for doing science development through a very spatial management and administrative ecosystem. Professor Sitaraman gave a very elaborate talk as far as technical education in the country is concerned. An institution like AICT, which has been in the front for almost how many years? 50 years? 45 years. And we all know that what has happened to our technical education in terms of quality. I always mention that it is not the numbers that make the difference. It is the quality of the numbers that make the difference. I may have 25 IITs, but if I don't have good IITs, then it doesn't make any difference. Actually, numbers give you a false sense of achievement. Having opened so many medical colleges, so many technical education institutions, so many state universities and things like that, and then you find that your PhDs are applying for a post of a constable in the government of India police, that does not augur well as far as the quality of our education is concerned. A major effort has been made today in NEP 2020 to spur quality and quantity together, and also to keep pace with the modern way the education has to be imparted. Because education, as Professor Sitharaman mentioned, also has to change its course because of the developing technologies, the way it is happening. But I want to tell you, the word technology is very misleading in the Indian context. I don't know how many of you have realized and that the definition of technology has been confined to software techies who are in a position to do a major contribution to the service sector. If I talk to anybody in Delhi, they say technology, oh, he's a techie, he's a technology guy. What technology? Software, service sector. Economic growth does not purely come due to nurturing the service sector. Service sector is nothing but transfer of money from one hand to another hand. It is not the growth of economy. Yes, it may provide employment, it may do many other things, but service sector is not for economic growth in the true sense. In the true sense, you need to produce things, you have to manufacture, you have to develop products, you have to sell products, you have to innovate, and then only you will be able to make the difference. And that's why I have often said that the major focus today of our innovation system should be on deep science and deep tech innovation. And I don't know what AICT is doing about it, but there is a serious measure to be taken. I will give you an example. When I was talking about energy, clean energy, in 2014-15, I talked about supercritical carbon dioxide as a means for generating power, which will be clean energy and things like that. I still remember in those days we never had these beautiful slides. We used to make on the CD and things like that. In fact, that slide was not even that, even an overhead projection. So, 2 days back I was in Indian Institute of Science. I was very happy to see 3 professors setting up a beautiful ultra supercritical CO2 system. A good refrigeration, Professor Pramod Kumar and his team have been. And the transformation I could see from ISC of my days when I studied there and today was significant. That they had set up a system which was engineering-wise a marvel in terms of all the facets. I call that as an innovation which will fetch value tomorrow when that system will be integrated with a nuclear power plant or that system will be integrated with a thermal power plant with no waterless energy production and no carbon emissions. That kind of innovation we are looking forward to. Now, people think that the disruptive technologies which are evolving today, we call them now, new word has been coined, metaverse. I don't know what was the need for that word, but anyway, since all the bureaucrats tend to have something which they catch, they called it metaverse. But I call them all the technologies what we're talking now. So I've also started using that word metaverse because everybody is using. The whole thing is artificial intelligence, digital, data analytics, blockchain, all this covers, BR, AI, everything covers there. Now people are thinking that if I apply these techniques in the software development, it will be a great thing. We are not realizing that we had to apply all these new technologies for deep science and tech. If I have to do tomorrow a good system which is going to predict the agriculture output using the data of the last 50 years, and also what is the kind of technologies which are going into say fertilization, into fertilizers, into seeds, into genetics and all that. If I apply all that, will give me a solution that will be more realistic. Rather than simply taking a data of 50 years without adding technology to that and making a statistical prediction. That is not the right approach. But what is being done today is, that is the approach. If you don't integrate technology development with the kind of analysis you are going to do for any sector, it will be incomplete. It will be something without soul. So we need to be careful. I digress because of the topic which you have covered, so I digress. But I certainly would like to go back and talk about what TIFAC has done. So from the days of Vision 2020 to Vision 2035, and now getting ready for 2047, I think the journey has been tremendous. In fact, I myself, when I was there for 3 years, have been privy to the excellent work done by TIFAC during the COVID-19, when they came up with reports on APIs, they came up with report on vaccines, they came up with report on circular economy, electronic waste, fly ash, and even methanol economy, which I was pursuing from the Niti Aayog. I think the number of works which they have done are wonderful. And I singularly appreciate the film which was shown, SIDBI participation. I know that TIFAC has barely funds to survive, but despite that, they were able to nurture so many MSMEs who came up with wonderful ideas. They are not software. They are good hardware and technologies which came out, which I really am proud of. This is the way the innovation has to be done. Same is true for the Srijan program, where tremendous work has been done. Friends, this journey should not go in the way the journey of AI is going today. You have all seen the growth in the AI which is coming, ChatGPT. You have seen? Many of you must have started using it also. Young people here, are you starting using for doing your tutorials, your seminar preparations and essay writing and so on? ChatGPT. This is a major thing that has, if it is not used properly, can convert you into a cabbage. One has to be very careful. As somebody says, if that automation comes, employment will go. I have always been saying that if you want to use AI, AI has to have two dimensions. Number one, it should be explainable AI. You should be able to explain the conclusions of AI through the mechanisms which you have followed for coming out with that. Second one is responsible AI. If AI is not going to be used for with responsibility, and that is where this ChatGPT becomes one of my point of discussion, I think you are likely to run into major problems. And that's why the community of scientists today have started paying major attention to AI in this form. Because many of the visionary scientists and others have proclaimed and also envisioned that if we go into general AI general, as we call the journey of AI takes place, it will be the doomsday for the civilization. Many have said, including the chief of Google and even the major physicists and so on, all of them have come to this conclusion. So we as technology forecasters, and a unit like TIFAC has to really make have to do a tremendous thinking in terms of identifying such of those technologies which will be within the framework of
the responsible and explainable AI within the framework of the new disruptive technologies which are going to transform all the sectors, right from agriculture to medicines to pharmacy to manufacturing to electronics, whatever that. It's going to, your style of living, everything will happen. But the whole idea is not to belittle the creativity of the men. If the cognitive functions also are handed over to the AI computer, then you are likely to run into a problem. This is what has not happened today. The cognitive function should remain with you as much as, but certainly automation should help us in doing tasks which are unsafe, tasks which are laborious, tasks to improve the efficiency, tasks where we can bring in better quality. All this can be certainly the part of our journey as far as these disruptive technologies are concerned. The growth of these technologies is really immense. In fact, in terms of the predictions which have been made by many people about how these technologies are going to be contributing to the overall economy, you will be surprised. The growth runs, I just tabulated this number today, it runs into trillions of dollars. They say that the Internet of Things itself, the high estimate is $11 trillion. And the low estimate is about $4 trillion. Like that, if you see mobile internet, automation, all $5 million, $3 million, I don't want to go into details of that. But you know, this is a tremendous growth which is taking place. Now, this growth cannot come unless you innovate. Merely knowing about it doesn't happen. The using it for the purpose through which you can innovate is most important. We are in the sixth wave of innovation. Sixth wave of innovation is going into sustainable technology development, which is the most important parameter. Sustainability should be at the forefront of technology development. And in that context, the report which you have released today on decarbonization becomes a primary kind of a document. Circular economy, sustainability, green technologies, biomimicry, and things like that become the forefront technologies which will drive, say, the next 100 years. So, in this innovation system and the disruptive technologies which will form part of this, STEM education becomes the most important. Science, technology, mathematics, engineering. And that is where I want to be a little critical about AICTE, when they said that for engineering education, you don't have to learn physics, chemistry, and mathematics. I'm so sorry. I had to fight with AICTE to stop that nonsense. And as a result, some moderation was done, but that would have been a disaster. On the other hand, the British Prime Minister has announced, Mr. Sunak, that all kids up to 12th standard have to learn STEM. All kids. You cannot have a choice. Here we are saying that for getting admission into mechanical engineering or maybe tomorrow electronics engineering, you can have commerce, computer science, and maybe economics as your subjects in 12th standard and still appear for IIT entrance examination. And then there will be bridge courses run for you because you don't know mathematics. For you to, this is limit. So one has to be very careful when you take such decisions because they are not very palatable as far as the system is concerned. Another part which our Honorable Prime Minister has been talking, that knowledge generation is good, but knowledge has to be translated. And translation requires two things. Number one, that you have to perform the journey of innovation right from proof of concept, going through the valley of death, and then coming out of it, swimming, and then going to commercialization and bring the product to the market. That is the translation full journey. But friends, it will not happen. Because one of the biggest weakness of our country has been design. If you see, if you want to pinpoint in all the technology systems which have been put in place in our country, the designs have come from abroad. Every system. I will give you a very funny example which I came through. We were setting up the 53rd fertilizer plant in our country, Talcher fertilizer plant. And I was the chairman of a committee to evaluate some technology some foreign company was providing. And there was an Indian engineering consultant company, I won't name that, was doing the coordination, they were making a DPR. So then I asked them, why the 53rd plant where fertilizer has been done 52 times earlier is not being designed by you? Why are you going to A, B, C company and you are only becoming the compiler of that and then giving it to the concerned ministry for doing the job? The answer was, sir, we have never done it. We have always been getting technology from outside. We are getting all the technical data. We are compiling it and we give it to the ministries. This story is not only in this sector. Any sector you go. There was a time, till about 2001 or 2002, India did not design its own cars. It's only after Maruti, and Maruti also designs came initially from Japan, and then of course, and a lot of effort that has been done. The same is the case, but the story is different in 3 other departments. I talked to you about SSLV D2. That is one department which has designed all its launch vehicles, satellites themselves. I have another BA, Atomic Energy, which has designed all its reactors, this, that, and all that. All the plants, NFC, all the forging companies, the tube companies, the material development, everything is indigenous. The same is the case of DRDO. All missiles, all the electronic systems like radars and sonars and all that, all designed by the scientists of this country. So why is it that if these 3 departments had design capability, the same people, same IIT boys coming, same ISC boys coming, have done this, whereas in the fertilizer department, in the agriculture department, in the electronics department, this has not happened. This is mainly because focus has not been designed and easy paths have been taken for taking the technology from outside. So when you now look at Vision 2047, I would say your first paragraph should be how India should do design thinking and make design capability using the disruptive technologies in the futuristic technologies and products which are going to come. And last point I would like to mention here is that the world is very competitive. Whatever you develop, you innovate today, and particularly the country is becoming a startup nation. More than 80,000 new startups have come. So only some of them are in the science and technology, most of them are in the service sector, but it doesn't matter. At least some good translation is taking place. And there I would like to again congratulate our TIFAC, because they have a very strong IPR group, which is facilitating women and others for becoming IPR managers, running this technology. So the IPR knowledge to every scientist, to every technologist is very, very important, because then only you will be able to encash economically or cost-wise, and then you can add to the GDP. Lastly, I would like to once again congratulate TIFAC for wonderful work which they have done, the great journey they have performed despite all odds. Wish you all the very best in the years to come. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and best wishes. They will always be helpful to us. Now we are again showing a film on TIFAC's new initiatives. So another film is being shown.
We are creators of the knowledge which our country needs, projects that shape the nation, technology that brings sustainable change, insights from which the nation gains. We are TIFAC, Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council. Since its inception in 1988 as a technology think tank, TIFAC has been proudly fulfilling its mandate of high-value knowledge generation, fostering foresight ecosystem, development of startups and innovation, patent filing facilitation and strengthening the world of intellectual property rights.
अगले 25 वर्ष हमारे देश के लिए अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण है। 2047 जब आजादी के 100 साल होंगे, आजादी के दीवानों के सारे सपने पूरे करने का जिम्मा उठा करके चलना होगा।
Taking guidance from vision and mission given by Honorable Prime Minister, TIFAC geared up for preparing Technology Vision 2047.
Technology Vision 2047 is TIFAC's DST's flagship initiative, wherein we are trying to identify technologies, futuristic technologies for India's need, which may include technologies on health, technology on infrastructure, and in general, the requirement of India in this Amrit Kal. We are trying to work on identify such technologies which can be there as useful for India's need.
Mission statement of TIFAC's Technology Vision 2047 is striding towards technology independence, a developed India. It resonates very well with the vision of Atmanirbharta. We believe education and skill set is going to be the key driver in attaining Vision 2047 goals. Our future will depend mainly on our ability to develop self-reliance, sustainability, innovation, and global leadership. The objective of technology assessment and mentoring called TEAM is to provide a platform for an expert evaluation of emerging cutting-edge technologies and startups. As India leads the way in leveraging technology and innovations, the startup ecosystem has been flourishing. Currently, India is home to over 80,000 startups. We are the third largest startup ecosystem in the world, with around 107 unicorns with a total valuation of $340.79 billion. Roughly 19% of India's startups are around the deep tech space.
I believe the golden era of Indian startup ecosystem has just started, and we are happy to witness this decade, as Honorable Prime Minister has said, that this decade is going to decide the future of India and developed India by 2047, where these startups will play a major role. Now our focus should be how to sustain this movement.
The startups remain our priority segment. We are managing fund of fund scheme, as also SIDBI has its own subsidiary, SIDBI Venture Capital. SIDBI has launched Venture Debt scheme. SIDBI also runs a challenge fund program where we prioritize startups or induce them to go for innovative approaches.
The mission starts with identification of potential startups and technologies and professional assessment and selection of cutting-edge innovative technologies and startups by a high-level screening and assessment committee. Promising startups and leading technologies would be requested to participate in a 2-day team meet at IIT BHU Varanasi for an aggregate assessment. Selected few will receive support towards commercialization under the TIFAC program, namely Srijan, and from partnering organizations, namely SIDBI, TDB, etc.
TEAM is a flagship initiative, a novel initiative of TIFAC DST, wherein we are trying to evaluate, assess, and do the suitable mentoring of startups. Also, we are trying to develop and create a technology exchange platform for the first time, wherein the investors and the startups will be on the same platform so as to be supported suitably.
Identification of technologies of significance and to prepare it to be transferred to the right industry for commercial harness is a key objective of TIFAC's Technology Exchange platform. To facilitate technology transfer, including patent licensing, TIFAC has established a portal where the technologies are being sourced from patents, technical institutions, and individuals to be transferred to the industry. As our nation walks through Amrit Kal, TIFAC aspire to stride forward towards Technology Vision 2047. With strong research, foresight, and a scientific bent, TIFAC is paving way to the new frontiers and new vistas for Atmanirbhar India. We are all set to create a benchmark for the world to follow.
Now it's the time for felicitations and celebrations. टाइफेक की एक प्रथा है कि जिन एम्प्लॉयज़ को 25 साल हो जाते हैं या कार्य करते तो वो उन एम्प्लॉयज़ को फेलिसिटेट करते हैं थ्रू कुछ ऐसे सम्मान देते हैं और दिस टाइम ऑल्सो वी हैव 19 एम्प्लॉयज़ हु आर गोइंग टू बी फेलिसिटेटेड. Actually this number is a little larger because last year this program could not be held because of the pandemic. So first I'll be announcing for the year 2022 and then for 2023. So the first person to come on stage is, and I also request our chief guest, Dr. V.K. Saraswat ji, to please felicitate these employees. Yeah, sir, please come forward, Ajay. आप सबसे अनुरोध है कि जोर से तालियां बजाकर इनका मनोबल बढ़ाइए. हाथ जोड़ के रखिए, इस सेशन में तालियां ही बजानी है. Miss Minnie Kanyanath Krishnan, assistant grade 2. She joined in May 1998. Minnie, आगे? हाँ. And now she is working as assistant grade 2 in various departments of TIFAC Establishment Division, Administration, and has given her services in various departments. Dr. R.G. Sardar, I think he's not there. Dr. Gautam Goswami, Scientist G. He joined in on 1st April 1997 as Scientist C and coordinated with various important programs like 2020, 2035, Climate Change, and now Technology Vision 2047. Shrimati Nirmala Kaushik, Scientist F and Vigilance Officer, joined in June 97 and worked in various programs of TIFAC, Homegrown Technology TEP, TIFAC Internship, MSME, and piloted TIFAC program in bioresources and bioproducts and published various technical articles. Dr. Shishir Kumar Goel, also joined in June 97 as Scientist B and worked for Homegrown Technology and TEP program and worked for a technology development program for 3 years and possesses experience of handling innovation promotion at various stages and team member in preparing forecasting penetration of electric two-wheelers in India. Srimati Pramila Khilani, now working as Scientific Assistant C. She joined in 1997 as Junior Librarian and has handled the library work such as procurement, classification and scanning of magazines, updating officers about the arrival of new books, and got promoted in 2010 as Scientific Assistant C. Shrimati Mala Sarpal Kichu. Mala is there? Joined TIFAC in 1993 and worked on technical editing, expert database, and since 1997 worked as secretarial assistant in divisions such as administration establishment and presently working as supporting staff in Vigilance Cell and in the Tele-Digital Health and CVID project. Shrimati Sangeeta Bakshi, Scientist F with TIFAC and has been associated with TIFAC since August 1, 1997 and worked in Advanced Composites program, right now associated with India as a program and also working as CPIO in TIFAC and has authored over 80 technical papers and articles. Shrimati Kavita Tyagi. Where is Kavita? Kavita is not there, okay. Shrimati Jansi joined in 97 as Scientist B and has the privilege of being recognized as one of the top 75 women scientists of India in STEM compendium. Presently, she is working on different projects and is posted with Executive Director of TIFAC in his technical cell and has experience of technical writing and project coordination and skilled in technology foresight, visioning, roadmap, so many things she has supported to TIFAC. So, next is Shri Mukesh Mathur. He also joined in December 97 and worked in Fly Ash Mission, TEP program, MSME, and now is also holding additional charge of in charge, finance and administration. Dr. Yashwant Dev Pawar. Joined as Yashwant Dev Pawar in July 1998, PhD from IIT Delhi, MTech Future Studies, and facilitated about 1,300 patents, delivered lectures India and abroad, and has handled Nari Shakti Puraskar winning scheme, and also taken internships in various countries. Then Shri Pulak Ranjan Basak ji. Scientist G, he also joined in 98 and has contributed in formulation and implementation of various programs towards assessment of technologies, and also contributed in hydrogen economy technology program, waste to energy project, and facilitated commercialization of more than 30 innovative technologies across sectors. Srimati Mercy James. She joined in October as LDC and worked in various departments of TIFAC like Registrar's Office, in account section, establishment section, and presently she is assisting Shri P.R. Basak, Scientist G, and head Srijan program. Shrimati Jyoti Saklani joined TIFAC in 1998 as LDC and has worked in various departments of TIFAC like Fly Ash Mission and various divisions and in an establishment section, and presently she is working with Shrimati Sangeeta Bakshi, Scientist F. Shrimati Reena Rana. Reena has come? Reena, okay. Shrimati Geeta Rajoria, stenographer, joined TIFAC in 98 and worked with PFC for quite some time and presently posted in administration. Shrimati Indu Varmani, Scientist C, joined in 1998 and was a part of various projects like digitization of payroll and CPF in TIFAC accounts, and done many other projects, and presently working on deputation at CARA, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Sangeeta Nagar joined in 98 and has been working in PFC ever since she joined, and has been associated with the Women Scientist Scheme and delivered many lectures. टाइफेक आप सबको 25 वर्ष कंप्लीट होने के उपलक्ष्य में बधाई देता है और आशा करता है कि आगे भी आप इसी तन्मयता के साथ काम करते रहेंगे और टाइफेक का नाम रोशन करेंगे. लेट्स गिव अ बिग हैंड टू ऑल ऑफ अस. Another round of felicitation. I now request Dr. Nisha Mandirata to please come on the stage. अभी अच्छा ग्रुप फोटो नहीं, पहले वो एंड में ले लेंगे ग्रुप फोटो, ये खत्म कर लेते हैं. आप सब माननीय अतिथि जहाँ खड़े हैं वहाँ खड़े रहिए, एक अतिथि और ऐड होंगे बस. My favorite section. I want to share with all of you that last year patent agent examination was held and our women scientists from 11th and 12th batch इन्होंने इस एग्जाम में appear करा and record number of 116 women scientists cleared the patent agent exam. This is the biggest number ever. And the Department of Science and Technology gives a prize money of rupees 25,000 to each of these women scientists. ये शायद आज सुबह से हमने बैंक में दे दिया था, ऑनलाइन ट्रांसफर हो रहा है थ्रू डीबीटी. आपके अकाउंट में आ गए पैसे? गुड. तो इन सबको सर प्राइज मनी ऑनलाइन हमने ट्रांसफर करे क्योंकि मोदी जी ने कहा कि भाई सब कुछ मतलब अकाउंट में ही जाना चाहिए, चेक नहीं, कुछ नहीं, सीधा अकाउंट में ही जाना है. तो प्राइज इनको मिल चुका है. एंड नाउ इनवाइट वुमेन साइंटिस्ट फ्रॉम 11th बैच फर्स्ट to come on the stage. Actually 60 women scientists from 11th batch have cleared the patent agent exam. तो सब लोग तो नहीं आ पाए जो दिल्ली से बाहर के हैं बहुत सारे. Those who have come from 11th batch, please come on the stage for photograph. Only 11th batch. सर सर्टिफिकेट के लिए दोबारा आना पड़ेगा, वुमेन्स डे वो भी है ना सर सेलिब्रेट करना हमको. Now women scientists of 12th batch, please come on the stage. आ रहे. सर आई ऑल्सो वॉन्ट टू इन्फॉर्म यू दैट ये पैंडमिक में लोगों की जॉब्स जा रही थी, लेकिन हमारी लड़कियों को जॉब्स मिली हैं पैंडमिक में. पैंडमिक हैज़ प्रूव टू बी अ बून फॉर वुमेन साइंटिस्ट स्कीम, क्योंकि वर्क फ्रॉम होम का कल्चर आ गया और तो बहुत सारी वुमेन घर से बैठ के ही काम कर रही हैं. एंड 12th बैच इज ऑल्सो रिसीव. नहीं मैडम एक 12th बैच के साथ फोटो है. हाँ हाँ Now request ED sir to please give memento to our beloved sir. आपको देना ही नहीं भूल गए थे एक्साइटमेंट में. सर डॉक्टर सरस्वत सर को. Now invite all the TIFAC people, those who have got 25 years felicitation, please come on the stage for group photo. I now request Shri Mukesh Mathur, scientist of TIFAC, to please propose a vote of thanks.
Don't make too long. Just say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Dr. V.K. Saraswat sir, our own former chairman TIFAC and chief guest for the event, Professor T.V. Sitaram sir, chairman AICT, and Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar ji, ED TIFAC. It's my pleasure to propose a short vote of thanks right now. We are running slightly late. So today's program, which was a short program, but actually it was a very meaningful and very touchy program we had today. Especially we had a lot of things to really cherish upon today's program. So in that series of vote of thanks, sir, first of all, I would like to give my heartfelt thanks to Dr. V.K. Saraswat sir, who as a past chairman of TIFAC and as a member S&T Niti Ayog, he has always been a guiding torch for us. And today when he compared TIFAC with Pandavas, actually it was a very emotional moment for us. He really has recognized TIFAC's contribution as well as its struggle to survive. So we look forward to your continued blessings and support in future, sir. Dr. Sitaraman sir, Chairman AICT sir, I would be very much thankful to you for agreeing for this TIFAC Day lecture on short notice, and your such a lucid presentation on the transformation of technical education in India. You have drawn a practically complete roadmap for education technologies adoption in India. Dr. Rishi Mohan Bhatnagar also gave a wonderful talk on Industry 4.0. So I would be thankful for him for agreeing this. Then especially the guest and dignitaries from DST, DBT, Niti Aayog and other guests from government and private sector. My TIFAC colleagues and everyone, like they have contributed a lot to this program, especially the Chief Organizer Mr. P.R. Basak and his all team. But this all was not possible without the complete support and guidance of our Executive Director, Professor Pradeep Srivastav. So in the end, I would like to thank you, sir. And maybe I may not be able to name many people who have really contributed for success of this program. But one and all, I thank everyone for the successful organization of this event. And after that, the program is now closed, and I invite everyone for joining for lunch, please. Thank you.
Thank you.